It started with steak. Not a metaphor, literal steak. Perfectly seared, rosemary-scented, cooked medium rare the way she used to beg me for before she discovered plant-based living on some influencer's Instagram feed. I'd planned the evening down to the second. Quiet music, her favorite wine, the expensive kind she pretended not to like when other women were around, and a candlelit table set just right. The occasion? Our 10-year anniversary. She didn't show. I waited 42 minutes. Not because I'm patient, but because I'm calculating. I timed the delay down to the minute, noting the untouched wine, the softening butter, the slow bleed of candle wax. She finally strolled in wearing an outfit that practically screamed, I wasn't anywhere you'd approve of. Tight black jeans, stilettos, and a top that looked like it owed someone an apology. She didn't greet me. She didn't even make up an excuse. Just said, traffic was nuts, and grabbed her phone charger like the last 2 hours of her life had been a solo mission through wartime conditions. She kissed me on the cheek, like a stranger, and muttered, thanks for dinner. No, happy anniversary. Not even a passing mention of the fact I'd roasted an entire garlic bulb for the mashed potatoes. Just silence. And then, the slip. She left her phone on the table when she went to the bathroom. Lock screen lit up with a message that read, tell him you fell asleep. Same excuse. Love you face blowing a kiss. Now, let's take a beat here. Most men would have exploded. Demanded passwords. Started a fight. I am not most men. No, I am the kind of man who looks at a lie and doesn't flinch. I don't fight fire with fire. I build a fireproof suit and walk through it. So I picked up her phone, took a photo of the screen with mine, and calmly set it back down. She came back in, smiling like nothing had happened. You okay? She asked. I smiled right back. Never better. And I meant it. Because from that moment on, I wasn't the fool in the story, I was the narrator. Now, once you've caught your wife lying, the game shifts. You're no longer in a marriage, you're in a chess match. And I don't play checkers. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I packed her lunch. Nothing fancy, just her usual Greek yogurt, almonds, and a turkey sandwich made with enough passive aggression to season the meat. Slipped it into her bag right next to the tiny Bluetooth tracker I'd tucked under the sandwich wrap. You can judge me if you want, but ask yourself, would a loyal wife need GPS breadcrumbs on her way to yoga? At exactly 5:47 p.m., while she was supposedly stretching her chakras and inhaling eucalyptus, the tracker pinged from the parking lot of a Marriott. Spa services? Possibly. But the second ping said room 309. Now we're in business. I didn't confront her. That's rookie behavior. Instead, I got curious. I started noticing patterns. Every late meeting fell on a Tuesday. Every girls' night was really just her sitting in the car outside the same apartment complex. She even started labeling calendar events with names like Strategy Sync or Team Catch Up. Like she worked for the CIA and not a boutique marketing agency where the biggest threat was a misspelled hashtag. And then came the big one. I went into the guest room closet where she stashed her old planners. Yes, the paper kind she forgot existed. I flipped through last year's dates. One entry jumped out at me. Lunch, tea at Elio's. Tea. Not Tiffany. Not Taylor. No, this tea wrote love notes on Starbucks napkins. I know because I found 3 of them, stuffed into an old shoe box labeled tax receipts. The notes were signed, T. You make me brave. Brave? The same woman who once cried over a flat tire was now courageously meeting her affair partner over cappuccinos and eggplant paninis? And still, I said nothing. Instead, I leaned into the role she'd cast me in, the oblivious husband. I asked about her day. I made her tea. I complimented her hair, even when it smelled like cologne that didn't belong to me. Not because I was weak, because I was gathering data. You don't stop a betrayal by screaming. You stop it by watching, listening, waiting. And when the moment comes, you strike, not to wound, but to win. Her routine changed on a Wednesday. She came home wearing a sweatshirt she didn't leave in, hair up in a messy bun, and the scent of vanilla and something else. I recognized that scent. Tom Ford, Oud Wood. I know it because I bought it for her boss last Christmas, which means either she's been hugging upper management or T wears it now. I started leaving my laptop open on the kitchen counter. Harmless Excel sheets, budget plans, normal stuff. But buried beneath that spreadsheet, a small script I'd written. Nothing fancy, just a little keylogger. Within 48 hours, I had every password she'd used in the last year. You'd be surprised how often cheaters reuse the same login for their email and their Pinterest account. And speaking of Pinterest, her secret wedding board? Not so secret anymore. There he was, a man with a gym smile, resort tan, and the fashion sense of a divorced accountant trying to rebrand himself. I recognized him immediately. Travis, our neighbor's nephew, moved into the unit across the street 6 months ago. Friendly handshake. Offered to help me install shelves in the garage. Real, just a helpful dude energy. Turns out he's been helping himself to more than my socket wrench. The texts between them were illuminating. Travis, I miss how you look at me when he's not around. Her, I miss how you look at me, period. Travis, when are we making this real? Her, soon. He's suspicious, but I'm managing it. Suspicious? Lady, I already had the guest room prepped for my exit plan. I'd installed cameras in the living room under the guise of home security and deleted the footage before she got home every night. She thought she was 3 moves ahead. Truth is, she was on a board I designed. Then came the kicker. A calendar event popped up on her phone. March 18th, weekend cabin trip, T and me Blackheart. And that, my friend, was the moment I smiled for real. Because March 18th, that was my weekend trip, too. A very different kind. I made one phone call. Not to a lawyer, not to a friend, to a realtor. Hi, yes. I'll need the lock changed on my home March 17th, noon. Can you do it quietly? They could. They would. And oh, they did. She left Friday morning just after 9 a.m., dragging a suitcase across the driveway and tossing it into the back of a rental car. Not her usual car. That would have been too easy to trace. The rental screamed, "Weekend escape." She kissed me goodbye on the cheek, told me she'd be at a branding seminar with the team in the mountains. I nodded, smiled, even offered to pick up takeout on Sunday in case she was tired from learning how to sell coffee mugs to Gen Z. She laughed, too loud, too relieved. By 9:18, the car was gone. By 11 o'clock, the locksmith was in. Quiet guy. Looked like he hadn't smiled since 2003, which suited me fine. Changing out the locks. Yep, I said, handing him a coffee. Wife locked herself out last week. Figured it was time for a change. He didn't question it. Just did the work. I had a new set of keys by noon. By 1 o'clock, the rest was in motion. I moved fast. Movers had already been on standby, my stuff pre-packed in storage bins I'd labeled garage supplies and holiday decor. 45 minutes later, my side of the house was gutted. My books, my clothes, my tools, my framed photo of us in Positano that used to hang in the hallway. It all went into a rented cube 3 miles away. Even the good towels. Especially the good towels. All that was left was a house dressed like a marriage. Furniture staged. Fridge stocked. Rings still in the dish by the sink. But no trace of me. I left the guest room made up like a hotel. White sheets, fluffed pillows, note on the pillow, "Enjoy your stay." And on the kitchen counter, where she usually left mail she didn't want to deal with, I placed an envelope. Inside, a single photograph. Her and Travis, walking out of a boutique hotel from last month. His hand in her back pocket, her head on his shoulder, her face turned toward him in a way she hadn't looked at me in years. No message, no signature, no explanation, just the truth. In 4x6. She returned Sunday evening, just after 6 p.m., suitcase in hand and sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. I watched from the car, parked a few houses down, out of sight. She approached the door casually, fumbled in her purse, pulled out her key. And it didn't turn. She tried again, tilted her head, frowned, tried the second key, the spare. Still nothing. Then came the expression, the first flicker of something real. Panic? No, not yet. Just confusion. Just the quiet moment when the universe taps you on the shoulder and whispers, "Hey, you've miscalculated." She rang the doorbell. Once. Then twice. No answer. I had the motion sensor camera muted, but the footage later showed her tapping her foot, calling my name into the door like I might be upstairs in headphones, or in the shower, or, in her deluded mind, just waiting. She pulled out her phone. Called me. I didn't answer. She texted. Her, "Hey, I'm back. Where are you?" Her, 5 minutes later, "Did you change the locks?" Her, 10 minutes later, "What the hell is going on, Logan?" Her, 15 minutes later, "If this is about Friday, we need to talk. Call me." That last one made me laugh. If this is about Friday, as if the betrayal had a date stamp, like expired milk, as if it hadn't been a slow leak for months. Years, maybe. She circled the house, tried the back door, even checked the garage. Every entrance, locked. Every window, closed. Eventually, she found the envelope. I watched the footage of her reading it later. No dramatics. No scream. She just stared at the photo, blinked, and slowly sat down on the porch like her legs forgot how to function. That's what I was waiting for. Not revenge. Not anger. Recognition. I wanted her to see it. Not deny it. Not justify it. Just see the story she wrote in someone else's handwriting. Now here's the part that catches people off guard. She didn't text me again that night. Not even to rage. Not to beg. That came the next day, 8:14 a.m., exactly 12 hours after she opened the envelope. Her, can we please talk? Her, you don't understand. It's not what it looks like. Her, can we meet? One last time. I just need to explain. I didn't respond. Instead, I scheduled an email, set to go out at 9 a.m. It contained one sentence. Explanation received. Acceptance not required. And attached? A spreadsheet. Yes, really. She loved numbers, after all. It included hotel dates, GPS logs, screenshot of texts between her and T, copies of every receipt billed to our joint account while she played house with her tan accessory. And then the kicker, a scanned copy of the new deed. I had sold the house. Technically, I sold my half to a holding company under my name. Legally clean. Emotionally glorious. Her name? Never on the title. I bought this place 5 years before I met her. She got to live here. Decorate it. Paint the walls sage green and call it our space. But it was mine. And now? It was no longer hers. People think revenge is loud, explosive, screaming matches in the driveway, lawyers and police and scorched earth. It's not. Real revenge is quiet. It's watching someone light a match in your house and calmly removing the oxygen until they suffocate on their own fire. And right now, she was choking. After the spreadsheet, there was silence for about a day. Then came the calls. 23 in the span of 2 hours. I didn't answer a single one. You'd be amazed how long a person can talk to your voicemail when they're not sure if you're listening or not. She left message after message, each one inching further from anger and closer to desperation. Logan, please. I know you're mad. I know what it looks like. But I never stopped loving you. It was a mistake. I just needed to feel something. You've been so distant. I thought you didn't care. You're really doing this? After everything we've built. And then, my favorite. You're embarrassing me. People are talking. Ah yes, there it was. Not sorrow. Not remorse. Embarrassment. That was the heartbeat of her soul. Image. Not integrity. Not truth. Just optics. And losing access to the house. That didn't just bruise her pride. It cracked her performance. Because she couldn't fake stability anymore. Couldn't stage Instagram photos from our back patio. Couldn't host her wine nights with her curated group of women who all lied to each other about how in love they still were. Suddenly, the stage was gone. All that was left was the actress out of costume. I saw her again the following Thursday. Not on purpose. Just one of those cosmic things that feel almost scripted. I was coming out of my new place, small apartment, top floor, one plant that was already dying. I liked it. She was standing across the street, in heels too high for emotional balance, staring at me like I'd walked out of her dream and into someone else's life. Logan. She said it like she still had the right. I didn't stop walking. She crossed the street, fast, ignoring a honking car and my very clear attempt to pretend I hadn't seen her. Can we talk? She asked. I kept walking. She followed. Just 5 minutes. Please. No lawyers, no insults. Just 5 minutes. I stopped. Not because I owed her that, but because I wanted to hear what lie she'd audition with this time. She looked worse than I expected. Not messy, just dull. Like a stage light had blown out behind her eyes. Travis is gone, she said. I raised an eyebrow. That's supposed to mean something to me? She blinked. I left him. 2 days after you locked me out. I realized it wasn't real. He wasn't what I wanted. No, I said calmly. You realized he didn't want the fallout. Her face twisted slightly. She hadn't expected me to hit that hard without raising my voice. Why are you being so cold? She asked. You were never like this. That's because I was married. Now I'm informed. She folded her arms, trying to rebuild some sense of control. We can fix this, Logan. We've been through rough patches before. No, I said. We've been through your rough patches. I just patted the fall. She looked down at her shoes. Expensive. Probably bought with my money back when it still counted as ours. I made mistakes. You made decisions, I corrected. Mistakes are typos. You booked hotel rooms. That's a business plan. She looked up again, and this time, her eyes weren't soft. They were calculating. What do you want, Logan? She asked. I smiled. I already have it. That was the last time we spoke face to face. 2 days later, I got an email from her lawyer. A long, dull attempt at clawing back some kind of asset, arguing emotional distress, and other legal fluff that might have worked if I hadn't been 10 moves ahead since February. My response: one sentence. Please advise your client that all marital assets were voluntarily abandoned prior to filing. Attached, time-stamped video of her leaving with Travis, suitcase in hand, plus a signed affidavit from the notary who'd handled the transfer of the house a week prior. Her lawyer withdrew. She tried hiring another. They declined. I'd already spoken to them. Shared the facts. Professionally, of course. No smear campaign. No threats. Just a man calmly presenting evidence to people who wear suits for a living. She tried going public. Posted a vague quote on Instagram. Sometimes the ones who say they love you the most are the ones who hurt you the worst. Broken heart sparkles. I posted nothing. But 3 of her followers, mutual friends, messaged me privately with some version of, "So, we heard what really happened." She deleted the post within the hour. There's this moment that happens in every downfall. The exact second someone realizes they're not the victim, they're the architect. That moment came for her on a Tuesday. I know because I saw the security footage. She came back to the house again, even after everything. Walked around the yard like it might welcome her back. She tried the door again. Still locked. But this time, she didn't knock. Didn't text. Didn't call. She just sat down on the porch and stared ahead. No makeup. No jewelry. No act. For a second, I almost felt something. Almost. But then I remembered what it felt like to sit across from her while she smiled at her phone and told me she was just tired from meetings. I remembered the look on her face when she introduced Travis to our friends as someone from the agency. And I remembered that photo. His hand in her back pocket. So I watched her sit. Then I closed the app. People say closure is a conversation. I disagree. Closure is silence, earned silence. The kind that follows a hurricane and leaves nothing standing but the truth. She'd been living in a short-term rental since the house became legally hers, for exactly 0 hours. A boxy little unit with mismatched curtains and a view of the parking lot. I drove past it once, not to spy, just to remind myself how far I'd come from trying to please a woman who measured affection and attention and kept score like it was a hobby. Her Instagram, once a steady feed of curated dinner plates, sunlit yoga, and soft launch selfies, had gone suspiciously quiet. That's how I knew it was bad. She didn't post silence. She lived off applause. But lately, her spotlight had been dimmed. A few mutuals stopped following her. One of them, Trina, reached out. "I don't know the full story, Logan, but I'm sorry. We all saw how hard you tried." That one landed. Not because I needed the sympathy. God knows I'd walked through that fire already, but because it confirmed something I suspected. She wasn't just losing me. She was losing the version of herself that only existed in the life I gave her. I got a letter next. Not an email. Not a text. A letter. Cream-colored paper. Her old stationery. The same kind she used to write holiday thank yous like she was auditioning for a Jane Austen reboot. "Dear Logan, I don't know how to begin this, because I know there's no version of 'I'm sorry' that won't sound hollow to you now. But I'll try anyway. I miss you. I miss the sound of your spoon against your coffee cup in the morning. I miss your sarcasm when something on TV is dumb. I miss how you always knew when I was about to cry and never made me feel stupid for it. I miss being someone who was loved by you. I've made mistakes. You know that. But you should also know, I wasn't pretending with you. I just didn't realize how far I'd drifted until I looked up and saw you were gone. And I don't blame you. Not for leaving. Not for anything. I just wanted you to know, you were right about Travis. He was never in it for me. Just the performance. He didn't like me without the makeup on. But you did. You did, every single time. If there's even a sliver of you that still believes in what we were, I'm here. And I'll wait. Yours, M. No threats. No demands. Just that soft, sad hum of someone who finally realized the doors in her life had locks. And I'm not going to lie, part of me felt it. The nostalgia. The sting of old memories trying to rewrite themselves as hope. But then I remembered. This woman had strategy sessions about her affair. She gave me spreadsheets of lies and called them life updates. She didn't lose me because she made a mistake. She lost me because she made a plan. And I had one too. That weekend, I met with my financial advisor. Are we finalized on the trust? I asked, sliding the folder across his desk. Yep, he said. Everything's clean. She has no access to your estate, retirement, or holdings. And the property you're about to acquire, it'll go under the new LLC. Exactly, I nodded. It wasn't about revenge. It was about reinforcement. See, here's the thing they don't tell you about betrayal. It doesn't end with heartbreak. It ends with logistics, with paperwork, with signatures that mean, I'm never letting this happen again. I'd spent years building something real. A life, a future, a structure sturdy enough for two. She'd spent years rehearsing for a better offer. So now, I wasn't just done. I was documented. 3 weeks passed. Another letter came. This one was shorter, less sentimental. I saw the house went on the market. I thought maybe you'd come back. Guess I was wrong. I didn't answer. She called once more. Left a voicemail. Do you ever think about it? Us. All the good before the bad. Yes, I thought. All the time. But the good doesn't erase the bad. It just makes the betrayal sting sharper. She didn't call again after that. Then came the invitation. Our mutual friend Nate was getting married. Small ceremony. Backyard, string lights. Acoustic guitar, the whole Pinterest playbook. I was invited. So was she. I RSVP'd yes. Not because I wanted to see her. Because I wasn't hiding from anything anymore. I showed up alone. Navy suit. Fresh haircut. Quiet confidence. People noticed. You could feel it. She came in late. Hair curled like she was trying to look effortless. She wore the dress I once told her made her look like a storm in silk. We locked eyes once. Brief. No smile. Nate made a toast near the end of the night. Thanked everyone for being there. Talked about commitment. About how love isn't just what survives the storms. It's what builds stronger walls afterward. I saw her flinch at that. Afterward, as people trickled onto the dance floor, she approached me. I thought you'd skip this, she said. I don't skip things I care about, I replied. Silence. She looked at me like she wanted to say more. But this time, I didn't fill the silence for her. She said, I hope you're happy. I nodded. I am. Then I walked away. Not because I needed to prove anything, but because, in that moment, I knew. I was finally free. After the wedding, things started unraveling for her in quiet, invisible ways. The kind you only notice if you know what to listen for. A friend of hers, Alina, called me out of the blue. We hadn't spoken in months, and never one-on-one. She opened with, Hey, I know this is weird, but I just wanted to say, I get it now. I didn't ask what she meant. I let her talk. She made us think you were cold, distant, like she had to escape you. But after everything that's come out, it's obvious. You were just the adult in the relationship. Apparently, a few things had slipped. A photo posted at the wrong time. A comment overheard at a girl's brunch. A story that didn't line up with another one. Little fractures. And one day, someone finally asked the question, what if Logan wasn't the villain? By the time I heard about it, her group chat had turned into a game of who knew what and when. Turns out, everyone had noticed something. But no one had spoken up. Until now. And just like that, her perfectly polished circle of curated people began ghosting her, one by one. No drama. No big betrayals. Just soft exits. Invitations that stopped coming. Posts she wasn't tagged in. Smiles that never reached the eyes. She tried to spin it, of course. Claimed I had launched a campaign against her. But there's nothing more dangerous than the truth whispered by people who used to believe in you. I heard she started therapy, which, honestly, was probably the first good decision she'd made in years. At some point, she deleted all her old social media. Started over. New handle, new aesthetic. Soft healing era, or whatever. But starting over isn't about changing your filters. It's about confronting the raw, ugly version of yourself in the mirror, the one you swore was everyone else's fault. I didn't spy. I didn't stalk. I just listened. It's funny how much people tell you when you stop trying to be liked. Mutual friends kept me updated, even when I didn't ask. She's different now, someone said. She doesn't laugh the same, another added. Of course not. She built her personality around being admired. And when the applause stopped, there was nothing left but silence and the echo of her own choices. One day, She tried texting me again. No preamble this time. Just, I understand now. I wouldn't blame you if you never spoke to me again. I didn't answer, because she was right. About 4 months later, I got an email from a marketing firm. Different state. Great package. Clean break. I didn't hesitate. New city. New place. No ghosts in the closets. No perfume in the walls. Just fresh air and quiet evenings and furniture I picked out. A month into the job, HR asked if I'd consider helping train a new team for a partner agency we'd absorbed. They're bringing in some of their old staff, but we want to instill our culture, my manager said. New leadership, new standards. Think you're up for it? Sure, I said casually. What's the name of the partner agency? She told me. It was hers. I didn't flinch, just smiled. Let me know when they send their roster. They did. I opened the file. Her name wasn't there. Not on the new team. Not even an admin. I scrolled just to be sure. Nothing. Later, I asked about it. Offhand. Water cooler talk. Wasn't there a creative lead in their old office? Monica something. My manager gave a quick shrug. Oh yeah? She was let go? Apparently, there were issues. Ah, I said. Too bad. It's been a year now. I live by the coast. Mornings start with black coffee and the sound of gulls. No clutter. No pretense. Just the kind of quiet you earn by surviving someone who tried to make you small. I've met someone new. No, not that kind of new. Not rebound, not desperate. Just new. She doesn't fill the silence. She respects it. And when she asks about my past, I don't tell her the whole story. But I do say this. I used to be married. She taught me everything I never want to be again. Last I heard, my ex moved back to her hometown. Teaching yoga. Living with her sister. Says she's finding herself. I hope she does. But the truth is, I already found me. She once said I was boring. Predictable. The kind of man who folds his socks. Funny thing is, she was right. I do fold my socks. But I also build empires. Quietly. Strategically. Thoroughly. And when I leave, I don't slam the door. I change the locks, sell the house, and forward the mail to a future where she doesn't exist.